in the world is happening with King County real estate? I don't know. I don't even know what to make of this. This is your guess is as good as mine time here at the old statistics review for the month. So let's just look, okay? This is the last 3 years of King County sales. The green is the new listings, the number of new listings that came to market, and the blue is the ones that went under contract that month. Okay, so let's look at what this means and how to parse this data. First of all, you can see there's about 50% less sales this year from any time in the past. I mean, not any time, but really back. Let's see how far back you got to go before you actually see something like this. All right, let's see. Come on, buddy. Yeah, you don't. You can't. The last 10 years, half the sales. So what does that mean? That means your real estate slinging people, me, right? All your friends that sell real estate, you want to be really nice to them this holiday season. Why? Because half of them are doing no business, or everyone's doing half the amount of business, or some combination of those two things. And I can tell you from personal experience, not my own business, but just the business of the realtors around me, half. So everyone's a little freaked out. Okay. So be nice to them. And if you're one of my clients and you're getting this, then you should be super nice to me. Nobody you know should sell with anybody else. Call me. All right. But in the meantime, let's look at this data. So other than there being half the amount of business, which isn't really so much a consumer facing issue for you, a buyer or a seller, what does that mean to you? Because the ratio between buyers and sellers is what matters to you. So most in terms of price, because supply and demand is the driver of price. And that's about the same as it's been. Okay. There's no huge gap. Like last year, there was this huge gap in supply and demand, way more supply, pandemic, way less supply, prices went up, prices sort of leveled off here, and they're staying leveled off here. So if we just look a little bit more closely at this, yeah. So you can see last year, way more supply than demand. But, you know, the ratio from a couple of years ago, it's about the same, right? So these last couple of months, the same last couple of months here. In other words, November this year is about like November last year. It's not radically different than last year. So maybe you could infer that we've hit something of a bottom, that overall this is about the level of inventory, about movement that you're going to get, right? That it doesn't get much lower than this, because really, you know, this storm of interest rates and prices has created this supply, this lack of movement. Okay. This stickiness in the market, that people with a home at a 3% or better mortgage are not selling it unless they absolutely have to, because they've got to move to an 8% mortgage or 7% mortgage. And nobody wants to do that. So they're just not selling. And then no one's buying second houses anymore, which was a big part of the boom of the pandemic when money was so cheap. No one's doing that. So supply and demand are just way, way, way out of whack. That will unwind over the next 12 to 24 months, I'd suspect. Meaning we'll get back to some sort of normal, you know, with people moving. But in the meantime, what this means is if you're selling, this is not a terrible time to get on the market. Why? Because look how close the supply and demand is. You know, if you put it on the market and you price it where someone with a 7 or 8% mortgage can afford it, then you're good. Then you should be fine. You should be able to sell that. You can't get what you could get for it last year or 2 years ago. You're not going to get that. But that doesn't mean you're going to get less for it this month than you would have last month. It just means the prices are slowly leveling off. Okay. Be fine. You should be able to sell that. You can't get what you could get for it last year or 2 years ago. You're not going to get that. But that doesn't mean you're going to get less for it this month than you would have last month. It just means the prices are slowly leveling off. Okay. Or not even slowly leveling off, have just leveled off. So you're not getting the kind of jumps in prices your mind, recency bias, is used to. You've got to take that into account. Will that unwind in 2024? I have no idea. And in fact, my big message to everyone is please do not put any stock in anyone who pretends to know what's going to happen in 2024. Because they don't. Because they just don't. Nobody knows. Nobody knows the future. It's a silly proposition. So if you're selling, I'd look at the immediate data, which shows price and demand is pretty damn close to supply. That's a good time to sell. I'm going to wait till next year. You know how many people say that? Oh, most. So waiting to next year to sell only puts you in more competition. And then if you're going to buy, I just put someone under contract yesterday, house on the market for 20 days. You can find deals out there if you're a buyer from unrealistic sellers, and you can find people that are willing to negotiate and give you money to buy down your rates. All worthwhile opportunities. My concern is you will wait until rates come down to decide to purchase, in which case you will be competing with everybody else who said that. Far better, and the prices are going to jump back up. So far better are you to find a home that works for you now and refi when the rates come down. You've already locked in the home you want. Way better opportunity. So that's the immediate future. Any further into the future than that, people are just making it up, and I would walk away from those people because they don't know. Nobody does. Not knowable information. Don't spend any time on it. I think I made that point. All right. If you got questions, your situation's unique. I'm pretty unique. I'd like to talk to you. Give me a call. Aaron Hendon of Christine & Company with eXp Realty. I'll talk to you next month. Peace out.